Good afternoon, Mr. Fong.
Hi, good afternoon, Dennis.
Afternoon, Aimee.
Afternoon.
Good
Hi.
afternoon, Amy.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, Yifeng.
Okay, this afternoon we are actually meeting up online. So we are looking at using this chat show to contact a lot of our friends out there from architects, designers, interior designers, manufacturers, suppliers. Everybody is connected to our construction industries. It is very important for students to connect themselves to the industry during their school years, which I think because this will be able to help them to basically be more practical when they design their school projects. On the screen now, this is our SBE webpage, sbe.ucts.edu.my. So you can see in our webpage, we have a lot of courses here. One of the latest edition is actually interior design. Today, I am privileged to have Mr. Fong with us. Later on, Mr. Fong will self-introduce himself. We have Aimee. Aimee is our head of program for interior design in the School of Built Environment. And myself, my name is Dennis Chong. I am a lecturer. I'm also interior designer. Mr. Fong, please.
My name is Fong. Everybody call me Fong. I'm work with ASTEEL Group. I'm with ASTEEL Group for 18 years. So today, what I'm going to share with you, topic about IBS. In ASTEEL, we have this IBS system called ASTEEL AGEA Green Integrated Building Solutions. And this is a whole new innovative IBS system that is quite new in the market. It's very different from the common IBS system that you have seen so far. So perhaps I'll move into a video clips to let you experience the motion in the video, so you will understand the product, which eventually it will be much more relevant for interior design. Later on, I'll show you how it will relate to interior design on how you can use this system for part of your design.
Competition and innovation in the construction industry has driven manufacturers to produce practical, simple to handle, better and faster to install products. Benefit of ASTEEL AGEA Green IBS. ASTEEL AGEA Green IBS integrated building system is the next phase of an eco-friendly construction evolution that promises accelerated project completion and higher productivity due to a shorter construction time and reduced labor. Advantages and benefits: fast and easy installation, flexible designs, pre-punched service openings, decreased heavy machinery usage, welding not required, smoother and even wall surface, lightweight reinforced concrete wet wall system, decreased site cleaning costs due to debris and waste reduction, minimizes crack lines. Implementation of this breakthrough technology in Malaysia by ASTEEL AGEA is the result of a technical collaboration with NS BlueScope Malaysia. This breakthrough complies with Australian standards and is endorsed by CIDB Malaysia. Upon completion of the architectural blueprint, drawings are channeled to the design department for design using CAD software. The design team will then forward the production sheet files from its computers to the AGRIPS roll former. Via a SmartLink interface for production in the factory. The frame machine will then produce the steel sections as per the designs received. Both the ribbed C-section and U-section components are then numbered and color-coded before being loaded for transportation. Training sessions to install the AGRIPS framing system are conducted by skilled personnel and installation specialists who stress on safety and efficiency. The installation process commences with the fabrication of wall frames on the ground slab following lines marked earlier. The connection between walls are secured with fasteners. The installation continues with the door and window frames, electrical wirings, and water piping system. Structure meshes are then fitted to the wall studs, followed by installation of the lightweight steel trusses already fabricated on the ground slab. The truss system is a lightweight high-tensile steel truss system designed for optimum strength at minimum cost. After the wall frames are erected, C-purlins are installed on the wall frame as a nogging to support the water tanks. The unique wet wall system is used. The assembled wall frames are filled with concrete mixture. Roofs, concrete tiles, or metal roofings are installed by skilled installers, followed by plastering, floor tiling, and ceiling works. After painting, the construction of the house is completed. A usually time-consuming, complicated, and messy process can now be completed with a faster, simpler, cleaner, and cost-saving way with the ASTEEL AGEA Green IBS system.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the videos that shows how the things from the very beginning of the construction slab, ground slab, until the end of the roof covering and painting. So maybe let me just slightly brief through this company, ASTEEL AGEA. Eventually, ASTEEL and AGEA are both companies that joint venture together to form a 60 and 40% shareholding to market in the manufacturing and sale of safety glass, and also in the steel division of the IBS system. So eventually, these are the two key major products. So in the coming episode, we will also cover the glass division for interior design. So this episode will only focus on this IBS system. So there's a various type of IBS system in the market, and namely we got a precast system, we got a block work system, we got steel frame system, even we have a modular system and also system from work. So these are the very common things that has been appear in the market for quite some time. So on comparison, you see towards here is the most expensive and towards here is the most cost effective. And in terms of method of constructions, on the top is on conveniences and the bottom is a less conveniences. So this is the positioning of the IBS system on the cost and conveniences comparison. You see this on the very left bottom is a precast system. Precast system, this is whereby they require a lot of machineries and they also build up a lot of stock in their stock yard. And when there are requirement in the construction, they have to ship and transport the precast to the site. And also we have another panel system, modular system on the left top, which is a sandwich board system. All these IBS systems are very good, but they have their pros and cons towards how the construction method and how is a geographical condition on the actual site. In terms of conveniences and the most flexibilities, actually we have this ASTEEL AGEA Green IBS system, which is a hybrid system with a steel frame and a cast in situ formwork. So we are called a permanent formwork system. So for precast system, you have various kind of problems. You need a lot of heavy machineries. You need a lot of labor also. It's not as simple as other system whereby a system for what will require less people. But when you talk about block work system, you are highly labor intensive. It actually one block is equal to 7 brick. So in terms of the productivity, it's calculated in this way. So it's considered IBS system. And for precast, you also need a lot of high stock. For block work, you also need a high stock. And of course, most of this issue, they have a cluster shrinkage problem. This is what you have the most problem with your interior design. And of course, if you are using a cement fiber board, you have a toughness issue, you have a cracks. Especially when you have a table, you have a chair, you just knock on the wall, then you got a hole on this panel, on this fiber cement. So how we solve it? So AGIPS is the solution that is to solve all these issues. The first, of course, we don't need a machinery. We just require scaffolding and lightweight equipment. And of course, it's low labor. You see, 2 persons can carry a whole panel, whereby a precast, you need a mobile crane, you need other machineries to lift it. So for this system, is using a lightweight system. And this steel frame is a formwork, is a permanent formwork. And of course, you have the design flexibility. You do not restrict to how is a block as a system or how is a system formwork on the panel that restrict the width or the height of the wall. So there is no restriction on the design. You can have a lot of shape. And of course, when it is cast in concrete, it's a whole wall and there's no joint. Therefore, it's a weather tight. You don't have a lot of joint. When you precast one panel to another panel, you need a joint, or even a cement board, you need a joint. Even a block wall, you also need joint. You need tin pad and all these things. All right. And of course, this is all the combination to resolve all these issues. And how is it compliance with the building industry? Of course, it is load bearing, it's a shear wall, and it complies to BOMBA. There's a BOMBA listing, under BOMBA listing, and the shear wall is acoustic. You have 48 decibel against a hotel requirement of 45 decibel. So eventually, the thicker the wall, the sound insulation goes better. So it's much more better than other kind of brickworks and system. And of course, it's thermal resistant, where the R value is 0.8, and a brick R value is 0.4. R value is higher the better. Okay, this insulate the resistant to transfer of heat. And of course, it actually help train those low income site workers to become high paid workers. Because we need less worker, it will help to resolve the construction industry to rely on foreign workers, whereby we rely a lot on Indonesian workers in the construction industries. Therefore, with this, we can train our people and to increase their wages in line with the government, whereby they want to increase the minimum wages. And because of this, you cannot afford to have a lot of workforce or labor in the construction site, even in renovation or whatever. Therefore, you need to have people with highly paid that are highly skilled as well. So it will serve in tandem with the high income nation of the countries. And of course, they have to come with certifications. They all have to comply with all the authorities and compliance with the regulations. And CIDB is one of it, and BOMBA, and of course, this we have this patent right as under the intellectual property. And at the same time, we also provide training to help to increase the workforce to be competent and multi-skilled in doing this system, this IBS system. And of course, these are all complying according to all the design coding, according to the Australian standard, NS and New Zealand standard, also complying to the British standard, and also complying to the CIDB CIS 24. And of course, we have this CRIM Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, which is under JKR to perform the testing to accredit our system and also the CRIM IBS in tech. So meaning that this is not only for common commercial, it's also being certified to perform for government job. So it has been verified by few parties, and it's not a lab test product, it's a field test product already. And of course, whatever system, it counts into money. Whatever project, it always count into money. And this system do not use expensive material. It all use the common, easily find material, and which is a concrete, other building material like cement and sand and steel. So this is the composition of the building material, the content that we built using agips. And it's a sustainable product because it's a green product. We don't use timber. It's not a child product, and it serves what I mentioned just now, low labor workforce, and will serve to sustain the minimum wages on the increasing trend. And the most important is this IBS is the only one that is allowed for renovation. So when you talk about interior design, you must ensure that your wall can be knocked, can be changed, can be modified according to your needs. All right, and of course, you need a wall that is rock solid, so you can hang things, hang furniture, hang heavy things on the wall. So this is just the right wall system for interior design. So what have been done in agips construction, we do it for residential, we did it for light industry. You see the wall is up to 8 meter high, and we can do it in hybrid system. This double-story house with a brick wall on the ground floor and our agips system on the first floor. And you can become another hybrid type, which the ground floor and the first floor both are using agips system.
Yeah.
We call this a rib loft. It's a rib system with very small porosity or hole. When we cast the concrete into it, you have a little bit of porous coming out, but later on, when we scrape the wall with plaster, then it will be fine. And what eventually the purpose of this rib loft is a foam wall. It's a permanent foam wall to strengthen the wall, so both sides. At the same time, it actually tied up your plaster to prevent shrinkage. It will prevent the shrinkage in your plaster wall. When we do renovation, when you have this plaster cement board, you always have this fiber mesh, and you have to putty it before you paint it. But when there's a movement, it crack eventually after, even with this mesh, because it's just a fiber, small, tiny mesh that just can sustain for few years, but eventually maybe 7 years or 10 years later, you still see the visible crack of each of the panel. It's the same thing. So with this mesh, we call rib loft, it will hold on your plaster to prevent any shrinkage, plaster shrinkage. Whenever you have a hot air outside and a very cold room inside, and you have a differential of temperature, and your plaster has expansion and shrink, but it will prevent it from crack further. So this is the function of it. It's not only a foam wall, but also to prevent shrinkage. So this is, we call it innovative IBS solutions. You want to have a proper wall nicely. Of course, some of the choices you can do is you put out wallpaper to cover it. All right, this is one of interior design choices if you have this kind of problem. But eventually, you want to put up the wall with proper painting and proper things, this is the thing that you should consider. So even if the wall got tiling, when it cracks, the tiles also cracks. Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so these are various different methods of agips constructions. And of course, you see, we can do staircase as well. And we can do the column. We can do a column. And the most attractive thing is that we can do even curvature. You notice the curvature? Yeah, this is the beauty of it. You cannot do a system formwork with curvature unless you specially build a mold to do the curvature. You cannot do a cement board with a curvature unless you have some modifications. And no, that's why I said this design flexibilities. So for interior design, you can design whatever method that you want. Of course, in terms of structural integrity, we have to assess that maybe some of the point we have to add in some steel bar and to reinforce it if you have a very wide opening window. All right, so we have to reinforce it. So a lot of cases, scenario, we have a certain solution towards it. Okay, maybe I refine it to every step, or how the constructions is performed. First, we do it on the ground slab when it's ready. Then we get this cold form frame system to site and start fabricate. It's only screw. We only do the screw. Every members, they have a identification of inkjet printing. Therefore, all the people in the labor force, they will have to learn this very easy way. They just do it like Lego. So if you just know about ABC 1, 2, 3, you know how to do this already. So you don't need a very high intellectual person to do this. At the same time, once you have the skills, you can be highly income paid also. Okay, so there's no cutting, there's no grinding, nothing at all. It's all pre-punched. It's all with the services hole already. You just have to screw it according to the drawing. Then we do the erection of the frame. Then what Ms. Dennis has said is a mesh that we call rid-luff. We try to cover it up. We covered up one side first. We left the other side open because what we want to do, we have to install the conduit pipe and the poly pipe for the M&E services. Okay, once everything is installed in proper, we nail back the other side of the rid-luff. And eventually, we want to do QA, QC. It's very easy as this is all see-through. Okay, you can see through and you can see that there's a pipe there. So you can check everything in order before we proceed to the concreting cast in situ. Therefore, for consultant to conduct QA, QC checking is very easy. So the way, instead of using a brick wall, you have to cut your brick and lay your pipe. There's no more this kind of problems. And everything is so precise. You can even pre-cut your poly pipe, pre-cut your PVC conduit pipe. You can pre-cut. So A&B people can actually estimate their cost very precisely. All right. Then after you have cast it, then we start to erect the truss and to do the plaster and to roll the remaining finishing works, the tilings. All right. So we make it into a timeline. Okay. Say that the slab casting and the piling foundation, you need 6 weeks. Then we'll come into the erection of the AGIP system with 3 weeks. And you only need 6% to do it. You only need 6% to conduct the installation. And on the finishing work, you take another 3 weeks. So eventually it's 12 weeks together, like 3 months. All right? It's like 3 months.
Cool.
So what is the things that we have done? We have a lot of houses we've done in Sungai Petani, Kedah. We have the residential in Sungai Midin at Kuching DBKU. And we have Selangor, Kuala Muda. We have in Perak, Prima Tapa. We have in Prima in Simpang Pulai, Kuala Terengganu. We have a clinic in Shah Alam. We have this, just now I show you the curvature is a public toilet in Gurney in Penang. All right, we can also do it for the light industry in Puchong, in Selangor. We also can do the quarters for Semenge in Selangor, and even the school in Kedah. So in Kuching, we also have remarkable housing development. This single-story terrace house in Putrajaya, Kuching. All right, Putrajaya. You see this Mount Santubong with the Santubong Bridge. 208 unit of single-story terrace house there. And another one in this housing development in Kuching also, 122 unit of single-story terrace house. Okay, this one is near your place. This at Sibu Jaya, Seduan. This is the latest photo aerial view, and this is 461 unit of terrace house in Sibu Jaya. All right, and exactly there's a new road linking from Sibu Jaya to the town area. Okay, so there's the locations.
And Mr. Fong, I want to ask you one question, Mr. Fong. We look at this photo in Sibu Jaya.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that all the frame are basically being erected completely first for all the terrace houses before you pour in the concrete. Is that so?
Yes. You see the slab is ready first, then come in the frame, then only the mesh, then the M&E services, then only we pour the concrete to the wall.
Oh, the concreting is the last part after
Yes.
all the services.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because we have to make sure all the M&E services is correct. If it's not correct and we pour it, then you have to do the hacking already.
Yeah.
Luckily, this system also allow you to hack that.
So the workflow on the site is a bit different than the conventional workflow.
Yes. So eventually, this one block is 10 unit. This one block is 10 unit, and it will take about 2.5 months to complete it for one block. Even if your single unit or you have a one block of 10 unit, the timeline will be about the same. So in terms of IBS, you will have an economy of scale that you will do it in mass productions. That will be much more beneficial. Of course, what I mentioned earlier, the system is for you to plan for future extension. Therefore, in Sarawak or even Malaysia, most of the house you will do renovation, especially your kitchens. You expand to the back, you knock the wall, you expand to the back, you increase your rooms, and all this. These are all the traditional way. If comparing to the Australian or the European, they don't really do renovation. They are using drywall, but they don't really do renovations. But for Asian, we are different. For the Malay community, you have a lot of this on-street house. Later on the bottom, you just brick up, wall up, and you have another living rooms. In this sense, and sometimes you want a corner unit, so you can expand to the side. So this is the system that is exactly suitable for Malaysians. Yeah, it may not work for Australian, it may not work for other countries, but it definitely is the taste of Malaysian taste. So this is when you have a house handover, you want to do renovation, you hack down the wall and put out another wall. But most of the time when we do renovation, we always put out drywall. But when the drywall, they always have some problems. Drywalls, you cannot hang heavy things. You can do it very fast, very clean, but you cannot hang a lot of things. Now we want to hang 50-inch or 60-inch televisions, or you want to hang aircon, 3 horsepower aircon. Do have problems on this, but with this solid wall system, is a wet wall system, you will not have this problem. And of course, you have better sound insulations. So you have more privacy. Maybe you have these 2 kids living in the rooms of each other, next to each other, and they will have their own privacy, especially during this time. You have MCO happening, and they have an online class in their room, and this one very noisy, that one very noisy, and eventually they cannot concentrate on their that class. So you need a room that is properly good for insulation. That's the whole purpose. It's not only sound insulation, but also heat insulation. And of course, there is no restriction on the shape or how you want to do it. Okay, so you see the difference. Conventional wall and gypsum wall. You see on the left photo, you have this RC column, it's a corner side, this RC column, and a brick wall on both sides. So if I want to do a built-in cabinet, then my carpenter come in and measure it. Suddenly you pop an angle there, you have to do an angle there. But we open out your cabinet and you see this column there also. So with gypsum, you flush the wall properly. That's the whole purpose, that this is the base formulation for interior design. So you need a properly flush wall so you can have the flexibility to design to the extent that you need. All right. Okay. This will be the last video clips I'm going to show you. This is a time-lapse video. We did this for the rest house. This is a rest house. One of my customer who wanted to build a rest house. So eventually when he retired, he can stay in this house, and we do everything for him. So let us see how fast we can do it. Huh? Okay, so it comes to the end of the slides.
Very impressive indeed. Mr. Fong, I want to ask, I saw something very interesting. There's no formwork to the wall.
Yeah, there's no formwork. Eventually, what I mentioned just now, the mesh that you mentioned is the formwork itself. As is a permanent formwork is built inside, and It's a two purpose. First is the permanent formwork. Second is to prevent the shrinkage of the plaster. So these are the innovative building solutions that is why the whole thing has been patent right under the intellectual property under my IPO. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. For all our participants who are joining us, so let me just bring the discussion to the next agenda. So in part one, we have sharings from our friends from the industry. In part two, we would like to share also from our UCTS what are the latest happening in UCTS, and for today's show, it's very interesting that we start our episode one with building technology like IBS system, because this is one of the studies that we are doing in UCTS. UCTS now is moving into BIM, Building Information Modeling and Management System. So we have on board in our School of Built Environment, we have a BIM system running, and our students will be learning BIM, especially like our interior design is now the latest program that's happening now. So the student of interior design will be learning BIM system and the CAD system. So once they graduate from the university, we call them BIM ready graduates. So they can be absorbed by any companies who are doing IBS system by doing a BIM system. So we have. So I'm not going to share a lot about the BIM happening in our school. We will share that in other programs. But I want to highlight that this particular subject that we have in our semester one, year one, and later on, Aimee will be sharing with us a bit more about the entire program of our interior design program in UCTS. So just on the building technology part, we have this course been arranged for our year one student, which is semester one student. So their knowledge of building material and building technology is something that we feel very important as an interior designer, because without material knowledge and technology knowledge, it's very difficult for a designer to go into a site which is existing built environment, we call them. So because we inherit a lot of our site basically is a building or a site that has been built, something has been built there. So it is important for interior designer to understand the site from the history point of view, the history of the site. Let's say I come into a building which is built using this system, which is being shared by Mr. Fong today, and I have no knowledge of this system, and I thought it is a brick wall, it is a brick wall, or it is a plastered a cement board, things like that, and I thought it is something of a hollow block or something like that, and I start to do a lot of knocking, and start to do a lot of other things. Maybe that is not the way to handle a interior project. So understanding the building product itself and the technology behind that building is so important, which I feel that this is the program that we are creating now, and we hope to invite more and more people to join in this program, and we share knowledge, especially from our industry partners like manufacturers. So in that way, this program, we are going to archive the program. We're going to put this program, the recorded version of this program, inside our resource library. So our students will have the full access to the library and to watch all these episodes that we have made for them and for the public. So building technology is one of the things that we really feel that our students need to master first in their semester one. So that's why we put it in semester one, and hopefully with a good start, the student will have a correct perspective of looking at materials. I feel that myself is an interior designer for many years, and I feel that a lot of like even in my own practice many years ago, interior design starts from a commercial line where we are, by profession itself, we get to know a lot of materials, and a lot of time the way we get to know materials is from a certain perspective only. So by understanding the material in the technology way, it is more important to understand the technical properties of that material and how it is being constructed. So I thank Mr. Fong for sharing these 6 episodes with us. and the 5 coming episodes will be very, very interesting, I can say. So, so the next one is I want to introduce my head of program, Miss Aimi Farhana. She is the head of program in our UCTS School of Built Environment. Now she's leading us in Bachelor of Arts in Interior Design. So I would like to give a bit of time for her to share to our friends here today in Zoom meeting today what our program is all about. Aimi.
Hi, thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Mr. Fong, for the very interesting building material to look at. So, as mentioned by Dennis, Bachelor of Art in Interior Design is the latest one of the latest additional course in School of Built Environment UCTS. So at the moment, we are actually very eager to start our next semester and welcome our the new students to join us in September, end of September 2021. All right. So we had listened to Mr. Fong presentation, especially on the this very interesting information about building technology, the latest building technology. So this is actually, yeah, as mentioned by Dennis, is part of our program. We feel like this is very important for the students to have that exploration of to know what kind of material that they can choose or they can play with. So at one point they have to think about the construction, but at the same time, we don't want to limit themselves. So especially I feel like it's very, very interesting, especially on this curvy, how you can maneuver to become a curvy wall, a platform. So that kind of things that sometimes our students would like to do, but somehow they don't have the knowledge, or even the technology is quite limited for them. So this interior design program aims is basically we want to produce a talented and skilled interior designers. So after they graduated, they will have this skill that they will be able to meet the demands of the construction industry.
Indeed, our interior design is also very much focused on green building nowadays.
Yes,
In fact, the School of Built Environment, I believe the whole school is also now focusing on in our program in that. The school itself is a green building, in fact. So so our students are very much exposed to all this knowledge, and it is a continuous effort that we are doing as a lecturer also to allow our students to be exposed more and more knowledge together. With now that we have this channel, I would like to also use this channel as a way for us to connect to the industry, especially now we cannot run away from IBS system, and we start off this program very, very nicely today with talking about IBS. And IBS, as all we know now, is the next happening thing in the market. Even now, the building submissions, if we use IBS system, there are a lot of points to score, right? Yeah. So I also I'm very, very into this now, looking at how we can use our BIM program to collaborate with manufacturers and to collaborate to produce all these program, the drawings, the BIM models for the production of IBS system. So something for us to explore more. And this is only the first episode that we are arranging with ASTEEL Group. We have 5 more to come. The next one will be on the 25th of this month. So that is 2 weeks after this.
Maybe I just introduce a bit on our coming episodes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think we have, thank you that UCTS have allocated total of 6 episodes for us. And this is the first episode on this IBS system. The second episode will still IBS system, but we'll will give you more insight of this design flexibilities, which is very relevant to your student interior design. So in terms of design flexibilities, then we'll come in about the aluminum works and glass, and we also have this flooring system and ceiling system coming soon. So in total, there were 6 episodes to coming to cover up for the whole construction of the whole house. So this is the episode that we'll see forward towards it.
Yeah. So the next episode will be coming out on air on the 25th of August. So if you have registered through the link, then you'll be able to receive all the recorded video of the episode, including today. So so if you have not registered, please do so. If your friends have not registered, please do so. This is an open channel. We would like to encourage participation from every single industry players. This is a show that we make for everyone, so we can share knowledge, we can exchange question and answer in the platform.